Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Cold Hard Truth Podcast. I'm Shrikar Rajendran, and today on Super Wildcard Weekend, we are going to be going over 5 of my hot takes or bold predictions for the games. I've split them up into tiers. So we've got the first tier, which is just hot, and then we got the next tier, which is hotter, and then I have one take that is my hottest take that's going to happen this weekend. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe if you enjoy the video. We have a goal of hitting 500 subscribers before the Super Bowl. We want to thank you guys for your support in making that goal an actual reality. And make sure you follow the socials down in the description. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we are active there. So make sure you're following those. And you know what? Let's get right into it. So starting off with take number 1, Alvin Kamara scores 3 touchdowns, but not all through the ground. Now, this is kind of it's a double layered bold prediction, because simply making a prediction that requires Alvin Kamara to be on the field, it's pretty much a bold prediction of its own. But he did tweet out "see y'all on Sunday," which means that we could see him on the field. The Saints haven't activated him yet, but I'd expect him to be there, which means he's going to play an absolutely massive role in the offensive game plan for this team. But in actuality, I don't think Kamara will have a big game on the ground. Keyword, on the ground. The Bears have a good run defense that could definitely bottle him up. But having said that, Kamara is dangerous in the passing attack as well, and that's where he's going to fully burn Chicago. He'll get loose a number of times, and when the day is done, I'm predicting he'll have 3 trips into the end zone to his credit, but not all rushing touchdowns. And moving on to the second take in my hot tier, Lamar Jackson scores 5 times. So, he led the best offense in the league last season, while the Ravens finished with a 14-2 record in the regular season. But then Lamar went into the playoffs in a matchup with the Titans, and he and the offense stalled. But it's not abnormal for young quarterbacks. We've seen it with Josh Allen too against the Texans. And as defenses, seemingly had figured out ways to slow down Jackson this year, I'd say he came on strong at the end of the year. And to me, that's a sign that he's figured something out, especially as a passer. And you're entering this game with revenge on your mind. It's a playoff rematch against Tennessee. I think we're going to see him silence all the critics, all the doubters. He will have a total of 5 touchdowns on the day. And you may be thinking, will it be garbage time? No, I'm not saying it's garbage time, because I expect this game to be a full-on shootout between the Ravens and the Titans. I think he totals 5 touchdowns. How that splits up, I won't make a prediction on, but 5 total touchdowns is the prediction. And moving on to the hotter tier of my predictions, we have 2 takes in this tier. Let's start off. Jonathan Taylor stays white hot with 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, I will say the Bills defense has taken a step forward down the stretch of this season, but there were times throughout the year when Buffalo looked to be a team that was always going to be in shootouts. And a big reason for that was their lack of defense against the run. And going up against Jonathan Taylor, it's pretty bad news for Buffalo. Taylor, he finally took over the lead role in the backfield down the stretch. I know he was fighting with Nyheim Hines. And look, he was dominant. He had over 80 yards in 5 of his last 6 games and scored 7 touchdowns in the last 4 outings. And after finishing week 17 with one of the best games, probably the best game of his career, with 253 rush yards, I mean, he's going to piece up the Bills. I think he's going to go for over 150 yards and 2 touchdowns to his credit. And the second take in this hotter tier, Josh Allen is going to struggle with 3 turnovers. Now, this may have caught you off guard, but that's why it's kind of at the top of that hotter tier. I'll say this, his strides that he made this season as the starting quarterback for the Bills were undeniably impressive. He went from being what we considered to be a talented project player to being someone on the cusp of being an MVP. He's already an MVP candidate, but making that jump, that doesn't mean that he's ready to do the same when it comes to the playoffs. We saw that with Lamar Jackson. We've seen it a million times before, but postseason football is simply a different ballgame. And while this isn't Allen's first, kind of experience in the playoffs, it's the first time that he's come in as the driving force of the offense. And against a very talented Colts defense, I think that's going to lead to some issues on Sunday afternoon. So my prediction is he's going to make his presence felt, but he's going to stumble multiple times. I think he's going to have a trio of turnovers. And before we get into my hottest take, make sure you leave a like on the video. Drop your hottest take down in the comments. I'd love to have a discussion with you guys. Follow us on the socials, my bad. And let's get into my hottest take here. Big Ben commits 4 turnovers. Now, here's the thing. With all the COVID issues with the Browns, you'd expect that Big Ben would, kind of look like that Week 16 Big Ben rather than the one that was, kind of faltering down the stretch. But it's just Big Ben hasn't really shown me much. And, I'm not trying to disrespect Big Ben here or anything, but it's just he's not a quarterback who's just going to take over a game, And because of the Browns' issues with COVID right now, it feels as if everyone is overlooking the issues in Pittsburgh. But I think it's pretty telling that the Steelers' offense has been quite bad with Big Ben under center. Before the Colts win, he had just 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions amid a 3-game losing streak. And he also threw for under 190 yards in 2 of those games. The Cleveland defense, it's not like a juggernaut, but with the return to the postseason fueling them, I think they're going to get after Big Ben in a big way, and that will cause him issues. He'll not only throw multiple interceptions, but he will fumble at least once, and that's going to put Pittsburgh, in a lot of trouble as the home favorite in the wild card round. So that is my hottest take. Big Ben commits 4 turnovers. Again, let me know what your hottest take is in the comments. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Leave a like. Hit that thumbs up. And I'll see you guys next time.